Hi everybody, Bill Black at Spirit River. Today I'm going to attempt to tie for you a rubber leg stimulator. A good friend of mine, Randall Kaufman, created this off of a other type of stone flies, dry flies. Here's one that I attempted to tie and it didn't work. So I'm going to attempt to tie one that you'll be happy with. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a 200 style 2x long dry fly hook, and I'm going to use some orange thread, and I'm going to leave it a little tag of thread sticking out on this. And the reason I do that is because I want to later use that as a ribbing. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of fine elk hair, and that's what I'm going to use for my tail. I kind of get it to about the right amount. And a lot of people want to stack this, and you can. It's pretty easy to stack. If you don't want to stack it and you want to do it fast, put your fingers in a little triangle and hold it loosely, and you can just stack it right there in the palm of your hand. I do this all the time. It's not absolutely perfect, but production time, it's pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and take a couple loose wraps, cinch that down. I can see that I need it a little bit longer. Now the trick here is to wrap back on that loose. Hold it and wrap loose like. And that cinches that whole tail together. Now I'm going to take a little fine and dry orange, and I'm going to create a nice tight little body. Again, I kind of go back there nice over that tail section. You want an even body if you can, maybe tapered a little fatter towards the front. This is a very challenging fly. Typically I'll go through something like this and then I'll forget one major part of it. There we go. That looks pretty good. Now I've pre-selected a nice whiting hackle. I go ahead and tie that in. You want this hackle to be just a little bit longer than the hook point. Now's the time you grab that thread. Now I'm going to wind that thread up through all of that hackle, and that just kind of welds that in there. Unless a fish's teeth actually hits this tight little thread, be sure you knock that hackle tip out, then this fly is going to stay together unless the fish really gets it. Okay, I'm going to backtrack a little this way, and when I do that I've got to go back in there and cut a few hackles because I kind of knocked them back. But I need enough room for my head and thorax and all the other stuff you got to put in this fly. Let's see, next we put in just a wee bit of crystal flash. So I'm going to take about 4 strands. I'm going to go right in here on top. Thread goes up between my fingers and back down. I'm going to take all this and pull it back. I'm going to take a couple wraps. I'm going to go in here and trim it. Now it's time for my elk wing. I use a little heavier piece of elk. Not quite as fine as, I'm going to need a little bit more. Not as fine as the hair I use for my tail. I must be getting old because my sentences don't always finish. This time I am going to stack it. Everything goes into the stacker. Now I measure it. Now I want this just a touch shorter. I can see that I'm going to need to go in and trim that crystal flash just a wee bit. Now is the time. I tie in that wing. Start with a couple loose wraps. Okay. That's looking pretty darn good. As you can see on this now, we're going to have to tie these rubber legs in. I'm going to tie in my grizzly hackle though to start with. I'm going to roll it off to the side. I'm going to tie in some rubber legs. Make sure those are on the sides. Once you tie, you can kind of tie these in fast and somewhat sloppy if you want, because once they're tied in, you can always adjust them. Now I'm going to go back and utilize my dubbing. I put that dubbing down here, and I can always pull all that stuff back. Now I'm going to thread that back around a couple times. A little bit more dubbing. This fine and dry stuff is so nice to work with. Two, three wraps of grizzly hackle. Try not to disturb your rubber legs. It's a fairly advanced fly to tie, not for the faint-hearted. Oops. So what I do is I do a little bit of a head on this, and I'll go in and whip finish it. If you can learn to do a whip finish without a tool, that's awful nice. And now's the time to go in and adjust those rubber legs. These are a little bit shorter. These I like to leave about the length of the hook. And there you've got a rubber leg stimulator, a little crystal splash under the wing, elk hair tail, whiting hackle. It's a beauty. Anyway, thanks everybody for supporting Spirit River. Please contact your dealer. You can go to see all of our products on spiritriver.net. You can go to many fly shops online and get our product, as well as overtheedgetackle.com. If you have any issues with this, let us know. Thanks.